This episode of Profiles in Risk is brought to you by InsurTech Connect Las Vegas. The legendary ITC is coming back home to Las Vegas October 14 to 16 at the Mandalay Bay Casino. ITC is the largest InsurTech conference in the world by a long shot and the absolute cannot miss event of the year. We never miss it, neither should you. Register today using our discount code ITCV25SP200 to save $200 off of registration. Again, the code is ITCV25SP200. Register today and see you in Vegas, baby. And when you're there, look for me. I'm the guy with the red top hat, very easy to find, and ask me for some magic. See you in Vegas. Hello and welcome to Profiles in Risk. This is your overly caffeinated host, Tony Cañas. And today is Friday, May 23rd. You will recognize that as the Friday before Memorial Day. And I am pitching the first out of 4 in a row, a quadruple hitter, better than last week's sextuple hitter. And then I will be hitting the Atlanta Beltline with magic and drinks and enjoy the holiday, the Memorial Day weekend. Today, I have with me John Connell, co-founder and CEO at Focal. John, thank you for joining me today. How's it going?
Tony, thanks for having me. Also caffeinated on this end. I've got my I2N that I'm sipping on. This is
Eh,
not an advertisement, but I do love my tea.
Perfect, perfect. Before we started recording, John shared that his throat has been a little questionable today, which as long as he makes it all the way to the end, and if he doesn't, then you guys will never see this until we re-record. But assuming you guys are seeing this, it means he made it to the end. I think that the sore throat just gives him a sexy voice. So I think it's working for you. So we appreciate you working through the pain of the sore throat in order to come on the podcast. So according to LinkedIn, you are in San Francisco, so Bay Area. May 23rd, I am guessing it's just beautiful out in the Bay.
It's absolutely gorgeous, about as amazing as it gets. And to your question around, working through it and the pain there, what does not kill me makes me stronger.
Exactly.
That's about as good as it gets. I can't complain though. Sunshine is coming in bright.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Yeah, if we get to the point where your throat's on fire, you let me know and we finish another day. All right. So we always give the guest the chance to give the elevator pitch. What is Focal?
Awesome. Absolutely. Yep. Focal is the industry's enterprise-grade AI note-taking and automation platform for financial advisors. We're also seeing interest from folks in the sales insurance agency, broker-dealers as well. Today, we're trusted by executives, partners, customers, investors across Charles Schwab, Vanguard, Ritholtz, Commonwealth, and others. And the value prop that we're delivering is a vertical specific purpose-built platform that saves advisors 50 hours a month. We're helping them scale AUM by more than 30% through adding more serviceable clients. We're empowering them to deepen their relationships with their client base instead of having to scribble away notes. And we have seen some interest from the insurance space in particular. And so, one of the things that we're excited for is working with not only those two partners, but also better understanding and deepening our ties with sort of the long tail of the institutions within this industry that might be keen on automation, the back office, being able to really implement the next generation of productivity tools for their frontline client-facing insurance managers.
Perfect, perfect. Next generation of productivity tools. Productivity tools for client facing. All right. So I was taking notes furiously there. Okay. So we'll kind of go into it little by little. So I always try to bring it back to my background, and I'm a PNC guy through and through, right? I've never been an advisor, and in fact, for the listeners, I give the option of just go on the podcast or just have a conversation or let's do both. And John chose to do both. So we had a conversation first, and now he's coming on the podcast. And that first conversation, I was very honest. This is not my world. So I pointed him to Tony Stewart, who this is his world. But I'm still the one that runs the podcast. We should get Tony Stewart to interview the people like you. But okay. So you have to guide me through it. But okay, so you're primarily focused on financial advisors for now. enterprise grade AI note taker and automation platform for advisors. Okay, and I see that you are sharing what it looks like. Oh, you're sharing the. Okay, perfect, perfect. So, all right, omni-channel conversation capture, enterprise grade AI meeting platform. Okay,
This might
uh,
be helpful, Tony, just
yes,
to
explain it to
break
me.
down the framework of, what is Focal? How exactly does it operate? So we today compliantly transcribe conversations that are happening across
Com
video, in
compliantly.
person,
Okay, uh-huh.
phone. So all the different channels that you engage with your clients today. And we're happy to connect with other systems, tools, as well that you might have. And that feeds into our enterprise grade AI meeting platform. So we're going beyond just taking vertical specific notes that understand the nuance of the conversation between a client and an advisor, right? In our case, it's everything from retirement planning and insurance and, tell me about your trust and will and what's coming next for the next generation. But we're also able to generate for you, meeting agendas. So before every meeting, helping you with that pre-conversation workflow of understanding what should you talk about based upon the contextual history of that client relationship, the 360 view of that client. We're breaking down the tasks and the action items from those conversations as well, intelligently extracting them from the meeting summaries to allow for you to just one-click sync them with the CRM. We're also drafting for the advisors we work with emails, and you can even personalize those emails and templatize them depending upon how it is that you want to be engaging with a post intro call conversation versus an annual review conversation. And we also allow for you to ask anything across all of the client conversations and all of the client contextual history. For some of our larger clients, they're interested in pulling in other systems as well. So being able to ask anything across a client in their planning tools, in their CRM, and their sort of other assets where they might be storing client related data. And the beauty of Focal, we sit across horizontally all the different tools that you're already using today. You can think of us as the connective tissue for actionability that you can then click off automations directly in Focal or directly in those other tools after selecting a given client and a given workflow. And Focal will help you self-manage that workflow. So inputting data, form filling, managing the clicks associated with a retirement workflow, or maybe it's a planning workflow or KYC. We can get quite bespoke depending upon the needs, the requirements, and just understanding the systems, the tools, the processes of the partners that we work with.
Okay, so I think I'm getting it, and it sounds very cool. Okay, so I have really bad memory, like surprisingly bad memory. Um, and I have gone out of my way to so historically I've been an obsessive note taker in important things. Now, one thing that I don't take notes on historically is career chats, because I do 400 of those a year, chat with Tony.com,
Oh,
uh,
wow.
and I
Yeah.
don't take notes on that. As a recruiter, that has over time created a problem where I have a career conversation with you, and I look right now to see if we have a job that's a good fit for you, and we don't. And then next week, the right job comes along, guaranteed that gets lost in the shuffle, right? But we recently added an AI note taker. We're internally using Fathom, uh, and basically the notes from Fathom go to me, to the person we had the career chat with, and to my team. So my team can identify if the right job comes in for that person next week. Now we'll identify that. I almost fell over backwards the first time that I got on Fathom, and
Hmm.
the person showed up, and it wasn't John, but basically Fathom told me, you last chatted with John on April 15th. And it was a surreal moment, and like the guy probably saw me go like this as I reached for my trackpad and clicked on that, and it gave me the notes from the last conversation. Mind blowing. Okay, so I can only imagine what that is like in the world of financial advisors. where they've had where like there's compliance stuff, there's cross sell opportunities. There's so much more that you could do if every word you've ever spoken to a client and a client has ever spoken to you is stored in a compliant and user friendly way. I'm at the point where I'm like writing love letters to. So I immediately the day that happened. So my free trial was about to expire, like 2 days later, and I hadn't really decided. I'm like, oh, this is useful, but do I really need the paid version? When that happened, when the whole like, hey, you chatted with this person, and here are the notes. I immediately bought a year membership, and I immediately wrote a love letter to Fathom saying, hey, can I have this in smart glasses format? Right. For in-person conversations.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, yes, I totally get how
Hmm.
for an advisor, and yes, the reason that I didn't take notes for years and years and years on career conversations is because I'm trying to connect. I'm trying to understand who you are, and it does get right. If I'm taking the note, it's harder to do that, right? Um, so yeah, that totally makes sense to me. I love the idea of it makes the for the meeting. Okay. I've never been an advisor, but having been a sales manager on the PNC side, I am fantastic at the first meeting.
Hmm.
I am not that good at the fifth meeting, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the first meeting is all about getting to know you and your business. I'm good at that, right? But the fifth meeting requires me to remember the conversations we've had in the past,
Hmm.
right? And come up with an agenda that is worth your time. And often, like, I'm going to see you not because there's something we need to talk about. I'm going to see you because I'm supposed to see you once a month, right? So yes, intelligent agenda generation up front, brilliant. Also, one of the things I've been really impressed with Fathom is the to-do list, right?
Yes.
To-do
Yes.
list that syncs to the rest of my systems
Hmm.
in a compliant way in a highly regulated
Yeah.
side of the industry. Amazing. The personalized email stuff, awesome. Let me see if I understood correctly the ask anything part. Okay. So if I understood correctly, and this is why we don't do it live, because maybe I am like completely exaggerating the features and you'll be like, oh, maybe cut this part out. Okay. Uh, so if I understood correctly, I'm a financial advisor. I've now had your account for 5 years. I
Hmm.
no longer remember if you're married or not, right? Uh, can I literally just ask the system, like in natural language, hey, is John married and does he have kids? Have we talked about life insurance recently? Have we talked about right? Have we talked about his 401k recently? That's like if I can ask it just like that for my entire history with the person.
So I'm showing you right now, Tony.
Uh-huh.
Let's say you have a question. Yeah, what is John's salary here? Sure enough, it knows the context of all the conversations that you've had. So we've had a couple of conversations here showcased with John. You can come in, you can ask it the question, and it will pull the contextual history or the understanding from that client relationship. And this can pull in from all of your various data sources, your CRM, your planning tool. If there are specific tooling hubs that the sales insurance agents might have, we can certainly, talk through potentially bringing those into the system as well. And this gives you that 360 view, right, that you want before every conversation. The other thing I'll point to here that you were commenting on around the pre-meeting agenda. In Focal, you can come in, you can select pre-meeting agenda prep and run, and I'm going to pause here. You can see the client preparation materials as well as the agenda proposal that gives you a heads up on what you could be talking about to ensure that you're setting up that next conversation for success. And then after all of these client conversations, what we're doing is we're basically pulling in the various tasks and we're intelligently extracting what those action items are so that you can just pipe them directly to your CRM or view them in Focal. So in addition to being able to pull out all of the contextual information, like here in this conversation, for example, they went deep on insurance coverage. So we have specific information around current coverage, additional coverage needs, homeowners insurance, what was discussed there around maybe the gaps in insurance coverage. And then we also allow for you to pull in, not only the title of those various tasks, but also the description that we're pulling out from that conversation. And the beauty of this, if you're using, let's say, Salesforce, for example, right? You can assign it to somebody on the team, and with just a single click, you can basically come in and then push all of your tasks to your CRM after you've assigned, the task to a specific individual, a due date. If you wanted to add other notes to that task for that individual to review as well, that's certainly something that we can play nicely with. But the capabilities here I do want to call out are vertical specific. So we have very much tailored this to the financial advisory industry and soon to the sales insurance agency industry as well. And when we think through sort of the general purpose note-taking capabilities relative to vertical specific note-taking capabilities, where Focal really shines is understanding the context, the nuance of those relationships, along with the specific language that's being used. Additionally, we integrate nicely with the long tail of tools within that space. So in the financial advisory space, there's a number of vertical specific CRMs, for example, and then planning tools that we're engaging with. In the insurance space, once we find a couple of these additional larger partners, we'd be very excited to work with them on helping them further integrate the automation stack, as well as bringing in that data into the focal brain so that they can action and orchestrate and delegate work across these different systems and across these tools. The last piece I'll speak to there, different than some of the generic purpose note-taking tooling that's out in the wild today, is that we are hyper focused on the compliance pieces. So we went down rabbit holes for 17A-4 and 204-2 around communication and SEC requirements. We're also compliant with a number of international bodies of influence. And for the sales insurance space, we're already SOC 2 Type 2 certified. We take a number of additional just considerations, AES 256, 1.2 plus TLS, and sort of the long tail of what needs to be done from a data management security policy standpoint.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So it is rare when things when insurtechs are outside of the PNC space. It is rare for me to like intuitively get what they're doing and why. In this case, I intuitively get it. So that is fantastic. I am looking at the website. Beyond AI note taking for financial advisors, transform conversations to automated back office workflows. That's fantastic. Um, the most secure AI note taking and automation platform. Perfect.
So some of the pieces beyond AI note-taking,
Uh-huh.
the way that we think about the way of the world is the note-taking asset is really the core deployment. And so this unlocks immediate value for our clients today, helping them offload that 8 hours a week, deepening those client relationships, scaling AUM step functionally. But the longer term play, especially with the larger entities that we're partnering with, is around what else is it that we can help you automate within your back office? Because today advisors spend maybe 1/6, 1/5 of their time with their clients. If we can help them double that, triple that, right? That is time, that is dollar savings, and you scale that across a large number of advisors. I'm imagining in the sales insurance space as well, whether it's policy and proposal, or if it's more around sort of follow-up tasks, the manual emails perhaps that have to get sent off to the clients that you're working with. The direct analogy there from a value basis would be really quite similar, and we could even dig deeper around specific workflows that your firm might have to help you further automate those underlying tasks across different systems and different tools. Where Focal sits as an agent, a browser-based agent across all of your think web-based tooling, what we can do is help you automate those workflows and identify where the low-hanging fruit is for automation, and then offload those responsibilities that today take a lot of time.
That is super, super, super cool. Um, So I'm always curious on the origin story. How did you come to realize this was a need and that you were the right people to address this need? So I do have your LinkedIn in front of me. So I do see that you went to school in Texas for a bachelor's in MIS. By the way, I'm also an MIS major.
All
Uh,
right.
and I am envious that you spent some time in Hong Kong. Love Hong Kong. Love Hong Kong.
It's
Um,
a
all
great
right.
city, really.
So
One of my
so
favorites.
so 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 yes. How did you and I see that you've had a tech career basically. But how did you realize that this was a need for and that you were the right people to focus on this need?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've had somewhat of a non-traditional journey across the background and experiences. I'd had summers in equity trading and in wealth management many, many years ago through, internships and schooling. And to your point, I had the pleasure of spending some time in Hong Kong through a summer program. And when I was with Microsoft, I was also in Germany and thoroughly enjoyed that discoverist mindset, the growth mindset, if you will, has been something that's stuck with me over the years. And coming down from Microsoft, where I was helping support the LinkedIn acquisition, managed $1 billion P&L for 0365 academic. I had helped out with a call it early stage company that ended up getting acquired by Dialpad, then spent some time in venture capital. And then the last company had helped raise roughly 36 million to go after AI applied to voice technology and communication software for large partners and customers like Nintendo, Amazon, Riot Games, and others. And when I thought through some of the problem statements and the opportunity spaces that were at the center of generative AI and how the future of work is really evolving, I had previously in venture done a lot of work around RPA technology and enterprise SaaS and where it is that productivity is really going. I realized the generative capabilities on content apply not only to the creative space, but also to the standard, in this case, agendas and summarizing details from conversations and follow-up emails. And that's sort of a foot in the door that then also unlocks the actionability pieces of how you can then automate with that data once it's generated, across your different systems and tooling. I had pulled in on a consulting engagement a good friend of mine, and then he had tapped on a colleague as well. And the team, it just sort of came together around, hey, this is a massive problem statement for financial advisors. We talked with probably, 50, 60 advisors around the challenges of existing tooling and where their pain points were, and really getting smart on how we could make their lives easier before even writing a single line of code. And we're fortunate enough to bring on industry all-stars that include C-level executives from some of the large names that were mentioned. Think advisors, investors within the wealth tech industry. And as we were chatting around what it is that we wanted to be building, we realized this is a massive problem. It's a massive space to be targeting. And even beyond financial advisory, when you look at other categories and other industries, sales insurance agents certainly being in line of sight for us, how do we think about the land and expand motion there to service the largest number of prospects as we possibly can, really driving value and impact across these workers. One of the personal beliefs that I have is how do you unlock and scale impact? And how do you make the biggest footprint that you possibly can, right? And so if we're able to save these folks 5, 10 hours a week today, there are second order considerations at play here. Now they can service more clients, more people get financial advice and are making smarter decisions with their money. And that has a trickle effect beyond just the first order impact of helping these financial advisors save some time.
Fantastic.
To give you a
Fantastic.
little bit of
Fantastic.
context
Mhm.
on them as well, so Clay he's our CTO, had been at a broker dealer that had been bought by Goldman Sachs. And then after GS, he was early at DocuSign and Chainalysis. And he and Jerry actually met at Chainalysis, and they were building onboarding tooling and systems for large organizations like Morgan Stanley, BNY Mellon, the US government as well. So we have at our core very much institutional enterprise lens on how we think about product building and servicing and deploying with the relationships that we're scaling.
All right. And it looks like you've been doing Focal for a year. So fairly early on, and already widely deployed, killing it. Uh, so, and by the way, this episode will come out. This is important that I tell you this before because of the question I'm going to ask you. This episode will come out very likely the 18th of June, so about a month out. So taking that into account, uh, what uh, what what is coming down the development pipeline that you're excited about that you can already talk about?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's so much that's coming down the pipeline. Every week, I feel is a new story, whether it's the two-way CRM digestion of your notes that you've already had, agenda emails, so that before every meeting, you have emails that are being sent off to your clients, providing them some heads up on what to expect and what's coming in that upcoming meeting. The automation pipeline is where a lot of this gets very exciting, as well as behavioral finance. So around the automation pieces, we have a number of relationships, partners, customers that we're working with right now to help offload some of the manual toil related to everything from onboarding to KYC to form filling. So in this space in financial advisory, you have tax documentation, you have RMDs, required minimum distribution forms, you have DOL workflows that you're trying to carry out. And so working with some of our partners to build out solutioning for those types of problem statements. And in the world of insurance, you can think, policies and kind of a long tail of activities that you
Mhm.
engage on there is the analogy. For the behavioral finance side, we are working with one of the industry's thought leaders on the largest pool of content in that space to be able to provide feedback after your client conversations to help you become the very best advisor that you possibly can be across the areas of growth that you personally are interested in growing. So helping you ask better questions, giving you insights into what went well, what went poorly, and then ultimately giving you the feedback and the tooling to really up level what it is that you're already servicing to your clients today. And those are just a couple of the bullets that we're excited about. There's more coming as well down the pipeline, but by June, you'll be hearing more noise around those pieces.
All right, all right. John, uh, awesome chatting with you today. Thank you. This has been very, very interesting. Like I said early on, it's not always that we're talking about a tool completely from another side of the industry, and that I truly get it. And in this case, I intuitively get it. It looks absolutely awesome. Um,
Really appreciate that,
and
Tony.
My pleasure. Anyway, when this goes live, I will tag both you and the company on LinkedIn. And yeah, thank you for your time today. This is really
Thank you
awesome.
so much. Folks can meet us on LinkedIn. That's Advisor AI, Secure Advisor, Focal Secure Advisor AI. You can meet me at john@meetwithfocal.com if you want to reach me directly. And then our website is meetwithfocal.com. But appreciate the time on this, Antony. I love the magic tricks that were live during the show. The
Thank
fire
you.
wallet, 1010, good sir. That was
Thank you.
great.
Thank you.